Yeah, it's a big topic, ethical technology, and really everything ends up at the technology. What Mr. Mufara is developing for each and every one of us, the technology is the key to everything. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But as I come here, I want to tell everybody that last week was an extraordinary week. It was a really, really good week. And I don't think many people really saw it or appreciated it. But when Mr. Bufara came on Chris's and Marty's live, it was an extraordinary moment because we saw a gentleman that's not running away from anything. He's always running towards something. And if you haven't listened to Mr. Mufara much, it was hard to see that. But as I listened and watched Mr. Mufara, I saw that he was running in high geared towards something. And it's a really, really big deal. And I try and bring some value, some clarity to the people that are listening, not only that have been here for a while, but the new people. We are in a position right now where it's a really, and that's why last week was so extraordinary. We're in a really, really cool position right now. And most of the people that come into Mr. Mufara's business, into Mr. Mufara's sphere, his universe, they've come in looking for a way forward to take care of some of those financial bottom lines. And when I think about that, the technology is key. If the technology is not there, if the products that Mr. Mufara is bringing out aren't the best of the best, if they're not at a lower price point, if they're not attractive, not just to a small market, but to a worldwide market, we really can't go very far from there. I can tell you flat out that he has the best products that have ever been created for the niches that he's in. And you have to understand what I just said. He has created. This is past tense, guys. It's a done deal. It's done. It's happening right now. That's why last week was so extraordinary. Everything that's coming, you can see it. I want to talk about Marty, Dan, and I. Okay, just very, very quickly. I, it's really, really funny. I have people come in and they'll ask me, they go, Mike, what do you think you're going to make? Because everybody's interested about the money. What are they going to make? And obviously, I don't tell them. I just say, well, what do you think I'm going to make? And whatever they say, they're wrong, and they're way, way off base. But that's a good thing. And they go, well, I understand you and Marty and Dan, you've been doing this 6 years. You've been doing this for decades. You know what you're doing. You know how to do this. And that's great for you. Okay. Yeah, it is. But we put the time in. Now, most people don't have the time or the inclination to do what Marty, especially what Marty's done. Marty's a nut. And Dan, I mean, who's going to put that kind of time in to develop the skill sets you need to do what we do online? Nobody. Brings me back to Mr. Mufara. And you have to understand, Marty, Dan, and I, we've been running forward for a very, very long time. We never look back. We know what we want. We know how to get there. And we've been running towards something for a very, very long time. Then we found Mr. Mufara. We weren't looking back. We were looking forward because he's way, way ahead of us. And it's a really, really cool thing to understand that someone has a vision that is greater than yours. And ours was pretty big, but his is way, way more than ours. And that he's running towards something. He's always moving forward. And that really is the key, guys. You have to move forward. Always, always, always move forward. And when I start to think about the gentleman who asked me, what do I make? What do you think we're going to make? What's Marty going to make? What's Dan going to make? It really is irrelevant because this is what Mr. Mufara has done with the technology, with the tools. Honest, ethical, clean, best of the best. And when you start to think about Ash's technology, he has put you in a position that Marty, Dan, and I are in today. In other words, when Mr. Mufareh launches the products that he's developed, all the products are going to be there to be as good as Marty, to be good as Dan, to be good as I, to be as good as the people that are on this panel. And that's saying a great deal. And what that does for you, and this is what people, they forget to insert this in everything they say about what Mr. Mufareh is doing in his business, is revolutionary. It has never been done. And if he hadn't done what he has done, again, past tense, it's a done deal. If he hadn't done this, you would not be in a position to be able to come in and to develop an online income that I believe will set you free in time. It really is extraordinary. Technology is a wonderful thing, but what Mr. Mufareh has done with it, with the integration, with all the products necessary to market online, and then you start to think about what it takes to market online and the time it takes to develop those skills to be able to do that, from content development to follow up to product to, and there are a dozen other things that go into it. This is what Mr. Mufareh is bringing to the table. And I listened to Chris and Marty this morning, and they talked about Yemen. And I know a little bit about Yemen, very, very poor country, a little bit corrupt. And I listened to what these individuals were making. And this is where it gets so cool when you start to think about what Mr. Mufareh is bringing to the table. I don't care where you are. I don't care what country you are. I don't care if it's a great country, bad country. It doesn't matter. Because of the products Mr. Mufareh is bringing to the table, and this is really, really key, you're going to be able to take these products, put them together, integrate them, and put them to work for you. And Mr. Mufareh hasn't left a stone unturned. Everything that we need to market online, and we could talk about marketing online for hours and hours. Everything you need to develop an online system that will bring in revenue, Mr. Mufareh has put it together, he's integrated, and it is for you. Again, it always gets back to the technology that Mr. Mufareh is bringing to the table. And then when you think about the technology, understanding that this isn't a poo-poo technology. This is the best of the best. And when you have that, all of a sudden, when you think about what you can put together and how you can market, and again, everybody can do this, then you start to understand, because of the product side, because of the technology, because of what because of how anal he is, and it has to be the best. It has to be better than anything anybody's ever thought about. Because of that, the world is going to rush in. And when that happens, because you're involved, because you're with Mr. Mufareh, you're engaged with his company, because of that, because of how he set it up so that you can win, those commissions will come in, and over time, you will get to the place. When we're talking about yen, you're going to get to that. I probably shouldn't say this, but I will anyway. You're going to get to that place very, very quickly, period. I know that. It's not even a question in my mind. I know that because of what Mr. Mufareh has done. And when you get there, all of a sudden, you start to have a little bit of freedom. You start to have a little bit of mobility. You start to be you're able to dictate what you want to do in your life and how you want to do it. And when you get there, all of a sudden, and really this is, when someone asks us about Marty, Dan, and I, what we're going to make, it really is irrelevant. The most joyous thing we will do is come in and show people how to take care of their life, how to take care of that bottom line, knowing that it's going to work 100%. And that's what Mr. Mufareh has brought for Dan, Marty, and I looking forward. It's money. I haven't thought about the money for a very, very long time because I know it's a done deal. Not because of me, not because of Marty, not because of Dan, because of Mr. Mufareh and what he's done. And then you have to understand that we had 6 years to do what we've done.
envoie un truc là.
There's Vince.
Got him.
No, he's good, Chris. He muted. So we're in a really, really, really good place. What I want to share with everybody, if there's any angst or anxiety out there. So Mr. Mufar is going to bring this out. What do I do? What do I do? I'll be doing videos that Marty, Dan, and I talk about, and they'll be videos that will put you in a position to understand what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it. And we'll be doing them in series so that as we come out with the videos, you're going to understand the technology, you're going to understand the system, and you're going to understand what Mr. Mufar is giving you. And we're going to start doing that very, very quickly. What does that tell you? It kind of tells you my mindset, where I think we are and what I think is coming. And we're pretty good at this. Marty, Dan, and I, we're pretty good at this. We kind of know what's coming. And as we move forward in the next weeks and months, get ready. Everything, and I mean everything, is going to change. And you have to keep that in the back of your mind. Mr. Mufar hasn't gone through all this trouble to bring the same-o back to us. It's not. It's better. It's bigger. It's more beautiful. But again, everything comes back to the technology. Everything comes back to what Mr. Mufar has developed. Everything comes back because he is so anal about what he does. Maybe that's the wrong word. You guys can put another word in there. Maybe he won't like that word. I don't know. But it's a good thing, because he's developed things today that are just so far superior. And guess what? You get to take advantage of all of it. You. And in the near future, we're going to come out and we're going to make sure you know how to do that, when to do it, and what to do. It's going to be a really, really fun time, and it's coming very, very quickly.